What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Duel School, where we're going to be talking about the new figures in the game of Pokemon Duel right here, right now. Let's get hyped, because there are some exciting ones in here for sure. Also, guys, if you have not checked out the latest opening video we did for this update, be sure to check that out. I'll link that for you as well. If not, it'll be the other episode that's uploaded within a day of this one for sure, if not the same day. Anyway, starting things off, my favorite Pokemon from this update, Mega Sableye, is, in my mind, insane. As it says, the natural enemy of Mega Mewtwo, force Mega Evolution to terminate with Plate Gnawing. So let's check out what this guy's all about. Just like Sableye is, it's Dark Ghost, but it has the ability Darkness Crystal. And this is only the beginning of the insanity. So, this Pokemon is not knocked out by battle damage. Already... what? And now, this Pokemon is not affected by effects of the battle opponent that would apply any markers to this Pokemon or that would inflict any special conditions on this Pokemon. And any such effects are applied to the battle opponent instead. Your Dark-type Pokemon and Ghost-type Pokemon deal plus 10 damage. So right away, it cannot be frozen, it cannot be confused, put to sleep, anything like that. It can't be cursed. It can't be anything. It's ridiculous. So, like, Caesar can't touch this thing. Ghost-type Pokemon can't touch this thing. It's whoa. It can't even be knocked out due to damage being dealt to it. Like, if something hits over it, it's just going to stay. So, I don't know. I guess you could just send it back to the bench with Lugia. You can use Sheer Cold with Suicune to just knock it out immediately. So, like, purple attacks will work. That's great. If you land a purple or a gold on its purple attacks, that'll work. But again, those are only like 2 examples. It's kind of rough, man. It's crazy. But it just goes to show, because Mega Sableye is known as like kind of a tanky defender, so it makes sense. You know, it's a cool technical Pokemon to work with, and it's keeping in lore with that within Pokemon Duel as well. And I just love the look of the figure as well with the crystals all around it. Pretty darn sick. Let's move on to its attacks, which is Plate Gnawing, 3-star purple, without even an evolution. And it nullifies the effects of one of the opponent's in-use plates. And that plate counts as having been used. So, as it said in the description, yes, it counters Mega Mewtwo, but it pretty much counters any other Mega Pokemon that are in play right now. Or any energy, like Tropical Energy, can just be taken away from, or any sort of energy whatsoever, or plates in general. It's insane, but... that's Plate Gnawing for you. Let me know what you guys think of the potential of Plate Gnawing is, how you guys plan to use Plate Gnawing, because I'm honestly curious. I'm not sure which attack I want to level up the most. Probably Plate Gnawing, but Shadow Sneak and Shadow Beam are really good as well. As you can tell, 80 damage of this gold attack. That is super buff for a gold attack. You don't really see that many gold attacks reach higher than that. Yeah, there's Rayquaza and stuff like that, but again, that's not very many, really. 80 is pretty high for a gold. And then we have Shadow Beam doing 10 more damage, base damage that is. In the battle opponent's next battle, that Pokemon's purple attacks become misses. So that's why I feel like Shadow Beam could be leveled up, though it's a little situational. However, purple attacks are a big part of the meta right now, and probably will always be for that matter. Just that purple attacks, there are so many different effects within them now that you have to try to shut them down as much as possible. That's why Popplio is relevant. That's why Shadow Beam is going to be somewhat relevant as well. And then it has a total miss size of 8. If you level this guy up to like 9 or 10, that miss size disappears altogether. But again, what do you guys want to level up with Mega Sableye? That is the question of the day for sure. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, as you guys can tell, that is an insane Pokemon in my mind. I would love to see it being used, to be used, I should say. And then we have Mega Altaria, a Mega Pokemon that's always had a soft spot in my heart for sure. Dragon Fairy type, which is cool. Altaria gains Fairy typing with this Mega Evolution. And then it has the ability Miraculous Cry. This Pokemon can MP move over other Pokemon on the field, similar to Mega Blaziken, for example. If this Pokemon is knocked out, all of your Pokemon that have been excluded from the duel, like the Latios and Latis if you will. So anyway, your Pokemon that have been excluded from the duel, and all your Pokemon in Ultra Space, aka Ultra Beasts, move to your bench. Your Dragon-type Pokemon and Fairy-type Pokemon deal plus 10 damage. So automatically this thing's getting a plus 20 damage buff, and when it gets knocked out, any excluded Pokemon or Pokemon in Ultra Space get brought back to your bench. pretty darn cool. Miss size of only 4, so that's great. Level it up to 5. Yeah, that's a lot of resources, but hey, you know what? You run out of miss. Pretty safe Pokemon to work with. To a degree, but let's move on to Final Song here. Final Song, 2-star purple, becomes 3 with a single evolution. That's great. Attaches a Final Song marker to all Pokemon within 2 steps. Pokemon with that marker are knocked out after 5 turns. So something to keep in mind, it says all Pokemon, so your own Pokemon on your team can get these Final Song markers as well. But that doesn't mean they're necessarily out of the battle completely, because again, if Mega Altaria is ever knocked out, you get them back. So you can try to strategize that pretty well, potentially speaking. It has dodge equaling up to 12, I do believe. That's at base if you don't choose to level up your dodge at all, which I don't really recommend doing. There are better attacks to work with. Dragon Dance, spin again until attack other than Dragon Dance is spun. Damage attacks deal plus 50, so that's cool. That means Hyper Beam, base damage 110, jumps to 160, plus 20, that is 180. So pretty dang cool considering its ability Miraculous Cry, gifting it plus 20 damage. Hyper Beam, yes, as we've known Hyper Beam to do, if the battle opponent is knocked out, the next turn will always be the other player's. So something good to do if it's on your turn. Otherwise, if your opponent's Pokemon gets knocked out on their turn, they get another turn again. So something to keep in mind. But again, Hyper Beam is not really what you're looking for here, at least not in my mind. I feel like Final Song is really the way to go. Again, my opinion. I would love to know what you guys think, though. And then another fluff ball we have would be Gus Lord right here. An interesting Ultra Beast for sure, which is Dark Dragon type with the ability Gulp. This Pokemon gains plus 1 MP after moving to the bench or field until its first battle. At the start of your turn, instead of using an MP move, this Pokemon may move to a point by passing through adjacent Pokemon that have weight. If it does, those adjacent Pokemon move to the Ultra Space outside of the field. Your turn ends. So that's interesting and pretty situational as well, because they have to have weight for you to be able to pass through them. But again, you can kind of try to work that into your strategy with some stuff that we'll talk about right now. So its blue attack is Ultra Belch, 28 size of the wheel, and it says moves 1 opposing Pokemon in the Ultra Space to a point of your choosing on the field. That Pokemon gains weight 3, so that's pretty cool. You can set that up pretty well. Like, I mean, if you want, you can move a Pokemon and make it gain weight somewhere that's adjacent to Gus Lord. That way Gus Lord can just move through it. You can put it somewhere way out of the way to where it cannot defend its own goal point. Who knows? Entry point, whatever. So it's pretty cool. Ultra Belch is pretty darn, I guess, it just works really well. You can do whatever you want with it. It's nice. And then we have Brutal Swing, 3-star purple, that's cool. Adjacent opposing Pokemon are knocked 1 step back. Those Pokemon gain weight. So again, yet another way that Gus Lord can use weight at its advantage. It does work better if it's being attacked by your opponent. That way on your turn, that weight will still be valid. But again, it's just something to keep in mind, because weight will not last forever. At least weight 1, yeah, it lasts 1 turn and then it's done with. So then again, miss size, totaling up to 8, get this guy up to level 10, no more weight, or no more miss, that's great. Dragon Tail is 137 damage, peculiar number, but pretty cool nonetheless. It benches your battle opponent except when opponent has fainted. Your battle opponent must then wait. So again, it really tries to get your opponent's Pokemon under the wait condition, though you still got to really strategize how that's going to work. I mean, working with multiple Gus Lord could help that, or just working with other Pokemon that do cause wait as well could ultimately help this guy's strat. I say anyway. Moving on, we do have Altaria, our first EX. Those are a whole bunch of UX. We have 3 UX in this banner. This is crazy. Our first EX finally is Altaria, which is pretty cool. So, Dragon Flying now, and its ability is Fight Song. When this Pokemon is on the field, your Dragon-type Pokemon and your Flying-type Pokemon deal plus 10 damage. So that's pretty cool. So this thing is also getting a plus 20 damage boost. It has a miss size also totaling up to 4, similar to Mega Altaria. Dodge size of 12 as well. Miss size, again, up to 8. And then Perish Song is 2-star purple. This Pokemon and all adjacent Pokemon gain a curse marker. A Pokemon that is knocked out in this condition is excluded from the duel. However, if you remember, if you evolve this guy into Mega Altaria, you lose the curse marker on this thing, and any of your Pokemon that did get excluded then come back when Mega Altaria is knocked out. So again, the fight is not over. And with Mega Altaria, if you're excluding a whole bunch of Pokemon, or at least if with a Paris Song you're excluding a whole bunch of your opponent's Pokemon, and with Mega Altaria for that matter, then you could potentially bring your own Pokemon back with Altaria and Mega Altaria. However, your opponent can be left with little to no Pokemon at all to work with. So, crazy strats. I think it might be a little hard to work with, but I would love to see it happen. If you guys are able to work these strats, please send me videos. Please link me. I would love to watch. Hit me up on Twitter. Again, let me know. Same name as the channel, AJ Applesauce. Altaria has always had a soft spot in my heart, so I can't help but be hype about the strats that this Pokemon's capable of. Dragon Dance, just like Mega Altaria, 50 damage to any attack that lands. So Flamethrower could do potentially 120, but then plus 20 would be 140. So that's pretty darn cool. And then, of course, if this Pokemon is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes burned. Unless, of course, it's to Mega Sableye, which won't work, since special editions don't mean anything to that Pokemon. So cool. Anyway, we have Zoroark. The ability is Illusion, and it's a Dark type. Now listen carefully, because this ability is a little wordy. So here we go. When this Pokemon is on the bench, or has not yet engaged in its first battle after moving to the field, and another of your Pokemon that has not yet engaged in its first battle after moving to the field is attacked before the battle, that Pokemon may switch places with this Pokemon. So, if the matchup isn't quite right, switch it with Zoroark. It's a nice little way to kind of just work strats in your own favor, to make matchups more in your favor, I would say. And it's kind of neat because, again, it's kind of keeping to the lore of the mainline Pokemon titles, with Zoroark kind of being like a prankster Pokemon. You think it's one Pokemon and then it ends up being Zoroark. So, kind of funny that they make it kind of work in this game as well. A miss size totaling up to, I believe, 8. Yes, 8 total. And then Cross Counter is a pretty cool attack. 90 base damage, and if the battle opponent spins an attack of 110 damage or higher, the battle opponent is knocked out instead of this Pokemon. So a potentially pretty good counter to a Pokemon, say like Terrakion or any other Pokemon that hits really, really big. Use Zoroark, don't really have to worry about it. It's nice. Dodge equaling up to 4, so not very big dodge, but at least it's there, I guess. Keep it alive for a little bit longer. And then Night Daze is another cool wide attack. In the battle opponent's next battle, that Pokemon's wide attacks become misses. A little situational, but most, if not all, Pokemon in this game have wide attacks. I mean, there aren't that many that don't have wide attacks, so pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some wide attacks are smaller than others, but say if you're mirror matching a Zoroark, you have a chance to knock out some big Pokemon. Or if you're going up against, oh, I don't know, a Solgaleo, which only has wide attacks besides 2 miss pieces, yeah, you're going to be doing yourself a good favor. Especially because Solgaleo is pretty big in the meta right now, so Zoroark is a good way to kind of combat that in my mind personally. That's just me. But yeah, good way to kind of set up your matchups. Use Illusion, have Night Daze be the one that levels up, that you level up, and bada bing bada boom, you're good. Cross Counter is another good way to combat a Pokemon like Solgaleo as well, considering that's a Pokemon that hits pretty high as well. But let me know what you guys think is the attack to level up. Is it Cross Counter? Is it Night Daze? I'm not quite sure. And Sucker Punch is pretty good too. 50 base damage, not bad at all. I think Sucker Punch is fine at 24 though. That's just me personally. But something to keep in mind, I think Cross Counter and Night Daze, I don't know which one I want to level up more, so please let me know. I would love to know what you guys think for sure. And then we have Zorua, our first rare Pokemon of this update, I should say, with the ability, again, Illusion. Same thing as Zoroark. If you didn't catch my definition of it, please rewind back to where I was at Zoroark. Again, it's a little funny worded, but it does make sense once you actually get the hang of it. It's not that big of a deal. but it is a 3-space MP runner, so that's cool. You can get this guy across the field nicely, and it has the attack punishment, doing 50 damage, and if the battle opponent is under an effect that increases attack damage, this attack deals plus 50 damage. So a good way to try to keep Zorua alive. This is definitely the attack to level up, at least in my mind. I could be wrong. You might want to get Sucker Punch to be a bigger piece on the wheel, though I think punishment is probably the way to go. I mean, a size 32 gold attack is not bad at all anyway, for sure. That's a good chunk of the wheel right there. Also, if you level up Zorua to level 10, no more miss, so you're just straight up attacking big. That's nice. And then Shiinotic is a pretty cool Pokemon in this set, for sure. It unfortunately only moves 1 space, but that's okay. It doesn't really need to go very far, because it has Dazzling Gleam doing 100 base damage. And opposing Pokemon adjacent to this Pokemon spin, and if they spin a gold attack, then they are knocked out. Situational, but potentially very, very strong. Spore is a cool a blue attack. The battle opponent falls asleep. Again, unless, of course, you are, unless you're Mega Sableye, where, again, special conditions just don't happen to you. And then 2-star purple attack, Strength Sap, is awesome. Again, unless you're combating darn Mega Sableye. Attaches a full marker to this Pokemon. While that marker is attached to it, this Pokemon is not knocked out by damage from wide attacks. The marker and any special conditions affecting this Pokemon are removed instead of it being knocked out. So I'm sorry, this marker only attaches to Shiinotic, not opponent Pokemon, so Mega Sableye doesn't even have to worry about it no matter what. But anyway, or your opponent's Pokemon. It's more, it benefits you. It's kind of, I guess, a Mimikyu, so to speak, where it removes special conditions and it doesn't get knocked out. So that's pretty cool. So every time you land Strength Sap, you attach a full marker. Pretty darn awesome. Not bad. I don't think they stack, though. I highly doubt that they would stack, though that would be awesome for sure. And then Swablu, a pretty cool uncommon Pokemon. I think it has high potential to evolve into Altaria. So, I mean, if you guys have Altaria and Mega Altaria, and you have, like, maybe a round deck, something to get this guy buffed up, I think Swablu can really do well here and level up to Altaria pretty nicely. So it has a size of only 4 miss, just like Altaria and Mega. Dodge size equaling to 8, and Cotton Guard, same as Whimsicott, 1-star purple. In this Pokemon's next battle, it cannot be knocked out, which is pretty darn cool. Then it has Peck 10, that's trash, unfortunately. But then it has a size 32 of round, 20 damage, and damage is multiplied by the number of your own Pokemon on the field that also have round. So that has synergy again with Wigglytuff that has round, synergy with Sylveon that has round, and synergy with a few other Pokemon, pretty much with Primarina, which says that it promotes any Pokemon that have round also get buffed if the damage gets buffed if you have Pokemon that also have Sing on the field, which Primarina has Sing. So pretty cool to keep in mind. Something I would definitely recommend. Who else has Sing? Popplio has Sing. I believe Brionne, the evolution of Popplio and pre-evolution of Primarina, has Sing as well. I could be wrong, but I do believe even Jigglypuff does. So again, you have your options out there for sure to make round decks even stronger than ever before. But I wonder if Cotton Guard would be the way to level up. I don't know, because it's only 1-star purple. It's not that much priority, but hey, if you can prevent a knockout, not bad. But the point of this Pokemon, I believe, is to either hold down entry points on your opponent's side of the field by running across that field, and then hopefully just keeping up your guard with a decent amount of dodge and Cotton Guard there to try to keep it alive as long as possible. Similar to what Whimsicott can do, but its capabilities of staying alive long are not as strong as Whimsicott, because Whimsicott has way bigger dodge pieces for sure. So I feel like round might be the way to go. It's already a size 32, so it's kind of influencing you to continue leveling that up even higher. But again, that's just my opinion. I would love to know what you guys think. Anyway, we do have Morlul, the pre-evolution to Shiinotic. Sorry, I always forget that Pokemon even exists. But anyway, it is Grass Fairy, just like Shiinotic, and it has Moonblast 20, not so great. Spore, again, sleeps the battle opponent, and then Thunder Wave, opponent becomes paralyzed. Pretty cool. Unless, of course, again, Mega Sableye. I can't stop saying that enough. And then we have Incineroar, which recently got a buff. Dark Lariat now does 130 instead of 110, I do believe it was. And Greninja got a buff as well. Hydro Pump used to do 60, now it does 70 damage. That's cool, I guess. Hydreigon got a buff also, that's cool. But my favorite buff so far from these older Pokemon is Sneasel. So it's Dark Ice, as it always has been, but Team Play. This Pokemon deals plus 20 damage for each friendly Weavile on the field. You're running 3, that's plus 60 damage, meaning that its Gold Quick Attack now can do 100 damage. That is crazy. Fake Out. This Pokemon switches places with its battle opponent. Not bad. So you can kind of set yourself up, maybe take a point on their field that they really want. Who knows? Fury Swipes, spin again until it does not land. 10 damage times the times it lands on Fury Swipes. Plus 60 potentially as well. So you have a really good chance of getting something great. But let me know what you guys want to level up. I would imagine Fury Swipes is probably the way to go. But again, that solid 40 damage plus 60 equaling 100 is not bad. It's kind of neat because it makes it so you don't even need to level up Sneasel anymore, because it has more potential than ever before to hit really, really hard, and it only has a size 4 miss. And it's not that hard to level up a rare all the way up to level 5 either to get rid of that miss. So something to keep in mind. Anyway, guys, I believe that does it for us on this episode of Duel School. Thank you so much for watching. If you would please like the video, it greatly helps out the channel, and I really appreciate it. I really do. And if you had fun, subscribe, because we have more episodes to come. Be sure to check out the opening video we did for this update. It was really fun. Some really sick pulls, I gotta say, at least in my humble opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and if there's anything you would like to see in the near future, please let me know in the comment section. Have a great one. I'll see you all later.